Hello there, hi, and welcome to another episode of Creatives on the Couch. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a different episode this time. Normally, it's all, about people's lives within entertainment and books and authors and things like this. Now, today, we're going to introduce you to a very special, remarkable, strong lady. And I think you're going to really enjoy her story and be humbled by it as well. She's a humanitarian, and we're going to hear about her stories and her travels. Angie, it's absolutely wonderful to have you with us today. It's an honour to have you on our couch. You know, we've known each other a very, very long time, and even when I found out that you were coming on today and what you're going to talk about, I was a little bit blown away because I had no idea what you've actually been through recently. You've been to Ukraine.
I have. I didn't put a lot out of what I've been doing. Somebody once said to me, intention, not attention. And I kind of think that's quite nice because the only thing I'll put on social media is when I need some help.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't know. But I think the stories need to be told.
Okay.
What we've seen on the news is not the true story of what's going on, because I've been there and I know. So the first time I went over, I went to Poland through a charity group, Love Bristol, and they asked me if I would do some cooking and looking after refugees in a centre with 40 people. 2 toilets, 2 showers, and one
Nice.
cooker. Yes.
Goodness me.
Yeah. Often when you'd fed everybody, there wasn't much left, and I didn't lose weight, so I don't know. But it was very humbling just to be there because these were people that have had to leave their homes because of the bombing and the missiles and whatnot, and they'd had to leave loved ones behind, fathers, husbands. And it's the children that I always look to because children are innocent in everything, in all these things. The second time I went over, I went to the same place, but I also got my sons to come over with a bouncing castle for the children, because my son does bounce castle. And also full of aid, the van was full of aid that we bought and other people had donated. I dressed up as a dinosaur, as you do.
To entertain the kids.
That's beautiful.
And we had fun, but I needed to go into Ukraine. I just needed to see for myself what was going on. So a friend called Wendy, who is, she just retired, she was a midwife. She took 6 months unpaid leave, and she went over taking aid and stuff. She's a remarkable lady. And I rang her because I knew her on social media, and I said, Wendy, could you come and pick me up, and can I come with you to Ukraine? And she said, yeah. And we went to Lviv. And the sirens were going off. Everybody seems to be walking about and doing their own thing, but they kind of got used to it in Lviv. We delivered aid, we helped people, bring them out and things like that. But the third trip, which is the one I've just come back on, the 30th of September, I went over with a friend. I was going over alone, but a friend, medic, said, could he come with me, Ken? And I said, yeah. So we went over, we flew to Krakow. Then we had to stay in a hotel over there because you can't go into Ukraine at certain times because there's a curfew, 10, sometimes 11.
Okay.
So we couldn't travel. So we stayed in a hotel. Next day we caught a bus, which took about 10 hours. Stayed a couple of hours in Kiev and then got the overnight train. And lying in the bunk bed in the night train, I didn't sleep because I thought, everything's dark, all the lights are switched off, and there we are travelling. Obviously got lights on the train, and I was like, so I started writing a poem about why I'm volunteering, because people do ask me. I actually volunteer to help people in places like that, because if we don't help Ukrainian people, Putin will not only take over Ukraine, he will try and take over the world, in my opinion. Much like Hitler, if we hadn't have stopped Hitler, then he probably would have taken over a lot more, and we wouldn't be sat here today as the free people. I've got grandchildren, 2 little grandchildren, and I looked at their faces and I knew that if we don't help the children in Ukraine, our children will be affected by it as well. I wanted them to be proud of Nana and my sons.
They are proud, Angie. They are so proud.
Thank you. So that's why I'm doing it, why I did it, and I will be going again. But the last trip, it did take its toll on me, because I went to Kiev and the sirens were going off and people were still carrying on. But then I went with Nadia, who's Ukrainian, and her husband Paul. They said, we're going to these places to help clear areas that have been bombed out. So we removed rubble and stuff like that. And one particular place we went to, just a wall left of the house and a bathtub. And we tied ropes and stuff around, and the lads pulled and eventually pulled the wall down and we started clearing it. The lady whose house it was stood there. And I said to a young girl who I knew spoke English as well, did she lose anybody? And she said no, because they were in the vegetable garden. It was like a miracle. And I said, wow. And then I looked in the rubble, and there was a little man, looked like a little pixie. And I said, oh, what's this? And she said, it's called a domovoi. Now, the domovoi is a little mischievous character that gets all sorts of trouble, but he also protects people. And I sat him there and I thought, well, he should stay there. I think he's been protecting the place. There was also little pieces of broken pottery, and it had writing on, so I put it together. And when I did, it said words which my friend translated for me. It says, I wish your house to be fulfilled with health, happiness and kindness. So I wrote this. Hello, I'm a little domovoi. I'm a cheeky little man. I sometimes like to make mischief, cause havoc when I can. But other times I'm a good boy and will keep you safe from harm. I know you love my cheeky grin. It's all just part of your charm. But recently you needed me more than any other time, because bad men sent their missiles with no reasoning or rhyme. But I'd had a premonition that your home was under threat, and I'll always try and protect you, my family, and my mind was already set. So I put in your minds that outdoors you should be, tending to your vegetable patch out of harm's way, you see. Then when the missile landed, right in the centre of your house, no person or animal was injured or killed, not even a tiny mouse. So although I'm quite mischievous, I'll always be by your side. But my naughty side's decided that there's nowhere Putin can hide. For in the very near future, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to send the lady who wrote this poem and give her a blinking gun. Because she was really upset when she saw the lady looking at her home. So me, the little domovoi, and this lady have decided we will roam. She's only a little like me, you see. Well, maybe she's a little taller. So I'm thinking of taking another name that I could possibly call her. An elf maybe, or a pixie with dust, a leprechaun perhaps, or a gnome if I must. But no, her name has a meaning. She watches from heaven above. She's your guardian angel, sent to give you all of her love. That's why she found the pieces that made up that special saying. It's not just a good luck charm, it's your very own way of praying. So between me, the little domovoi, the angel and God above, know that we are watching over you sincerely with all of our love. Now I wrote that, and it's quite light-hearted because there's a lot more that's going on that's very emotional.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, I've got goosebumps.
So,
Wow.
you know, we've heard you talking about your journey, how you got there, and some of the people that you've met. Who else did you meet while you were out there who really impacted you? I saw something that you'd spoke about a gentleman called Jacob.
Yes, Jacob is a Polish gentleman that has been living over in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, which is the place I visited on the last trip, and he is a real hero. Jacob looks after soldiers, he feeds them, he finds places for them to sleep if there's no way of getting back because of curfew or whatever's going on. Jacob told me this story as I was there at the flat with him about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. He was standing on the balcony of his flat with a young soldier, an English soldier. These are people that have gone out of their own free will. They've nothing to do with the government, but this young lad wanted to go and help. I think we joined the Legionnaires over there. And as they were talking in English, some guy came over and asked for a cigarette. So they gave him one, and Jacob stood back and left him speaking to this guy. Jacob somehow felt something was wrong, and he heard the guy say, "I'm just going to use my phone," and he started speaking in Russian. So Jacob speaks 5 languages. Jacob ran round and got hold of the guy, and a fight broke out. Jacob lost 2 teeth. The guy, he actually had his leg broken. The police were called, they grabbed the phone, they checked everything out, and he was a collaborator. The information on that phone, there were so many details on the phone about locations and things like that, and the guy was in the middle of saying, "This is the location, send the coordinates are here, this is the coordinates to send a missile to because there's soldiers here." Now, Jacob saved thousands of lives by explaining, to them what had happened and doing this. He's a hero. He definitely is a hero.
Listen, we're going to continue this story and a little bit more, delving more into Angie's time in the Ukraine after this short break here on Creatives on the Couch. Hi there, and welcome back to Creatives on the Couch. It's a little bit of a different episode this week. We are sat here with the very strong and very brave Angie. I can feel your emotion, This has altered you as a person, hasn't it?
It has indeed, yeah. I've been acting for many years, and I was actually offered parts in films, and I turned them down because this was more important to me. And the last trip in particular, going to Kharkiv, when you hear the sirens go off, a missile's on its way. And I said to Jacob, "How have you done this right from, the beginning? Are you not scared?" He said, "You kind of get used to it, and you know that we can go home and they can't." So I'm writing a book in the hope that we can get it published and you can see the true stories.
So you want this publishing across the UK and beyond?
Yeah, and every single penny will go back to Ukraine. There's one in particular I'd like to read if it's okay. It's about a little boy that I met while I was over there. I thought at first that was a real gun. It wasn't, but he did have a real gun in his pocket, a smaller one. So I wrote this: "I'm just a child. I'm just a child, yet I feel like a man. I'll defend my homeland as best as I can. Sometimes scary in the middle of the night when I hear the bombing, to not freeze with fright. I'm just a child. I'm supposed to just play. But war makes me grow up. Fear takes my childhood away. To kick a ball, to play with friends, will I be free when all this ends? My life's changed already, though I try to stay strong. I'm just a child, but I know war is wrong. 9 or 10, no age at all. That kid should be playing, not building a wall. But this is my life. I fix and defend. I help my dear mother, her heart to try and mend. She says I'm the man now, whilst Dad isn't here. But I see it in her eyes, the sadness and fear. I'm only a child, but I've had to grow fast. I can't play like children should, no happy memories that last. I'm only a child, I don't want to grow up now. But whilst my country's being bombed, I simply don't know how. To be a little child, to laugh and run around free. For this war has taken my childhood. No more will I ever be me."
Come here. Come. You are so brave.
Oh, they're brave.
They are, yeah. But then they've got amazing people like you around them, and showing them that the world is watching and that the world is caring.
I hope so.
So regarding the help and the aid and everything, what is it that you take? What is it that you need? What is it that you would like, really, with a lot of people watching this?
Well, because winter's coming, and obviously over in Ukraine and even Poland, it gets really, really cold. There's no electric, there's no water, no form of heating. So we're trying to get generators. We're sending thermal clothing for not just the adults but the children as well. They lost everything. And a lot of people have had to come out of the country for safety, and Poland and surrounding countries have been so kind, and the houses have often got like 15 people in. But the ones that are still there, they can't go anywhere because the UK did the thing about homes for Ukraine. But people have sort of forgotten, and it's dried up. So there's nowhere for these people to go. So they have to stay in Ukraine. And a lot of them don't want to leave because it's their home.
Of course, it's their life.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is go home. A lot of people that left have gone back, even though there's the bombing. They have nothing. So anybody who has any warm clothing, we will try and get it over there. I mean, when I sent a van over with my son before, it cost a lot of money to send a van over. So we're trying to get big wagons to go over.
Okay.
But even that's drying up now, because it cost me in fuel alone £1,500.
Wow.
To get the van over, because obviously it's like 3 days trip there and 3 days back.
You said just before we started filming, you have sold your possessions, you've sold your belongings, you've sold furniture just to fund to get out there.
Yeah.
Amazing. So if anybody watching wanted to help, wanted to donate, send clothes or anything over, what can they do?
Well, I've been collecting, I've got a big cellar, so I've been putting stuff in there. And Wendy, my friend, has just left today, and she's took 2 vanfuls full, but I've still got more. Now we're struggling to get more vans to get it over there. So people are saying buy stuff over in Ukraine because it's cheaper and it helps the economy. So I haven't so far done any fundraising on any big scale. People have said, well, there's £10, and I always show receipts and everything to make sure everything goes where it should.
Sure.
But I am going to set up a GoFundMe page, because things like generators, they're going to be expensive. And if we can buy them over there, it will save money as well. But if people can't, because a lot of people haven't got money, everybody's struggling now.
Yes.
But people have often got things that they can donate, like sleeping bags. I'll still take them, and I'll still do my best to get them over there. So, you can go on my Facebook page, Angie Sutcliffe. Send me messages and I can try and explain how we can get it over. There's also a lady called Lorraine over in Gloucestershire, and she sends a wagon out every couple of months, and it's a big lorry that she sends over. So any help that we can get like that would be gratefully received. I used to collect a lot of Coronation Street things. I had a Corrie corner.
She had an amazing collection of memorabilia from the history
wow.
of the show.
And you've sold
You
them?
sold all of it, didn't you? You had
Oh,
costumes,
wow.
you had some of the most iconic costumes in Coronation Street history. When she said, I sold it all, but that just shows the dedication
Yes, it does.
of what it is that you believe in. And at the end of the day, it's just stuff. It's amazing stuff, but it's just stuff. And it just shows, what kind of a lady that you are. I mean, what's going to be next? That's what I think we want to know, and what all of our viewers want to know. What's going to be next for you and your travels and
Well, I should have gone today, but there's still more needs to be done before I go. And I'm hoping to go again in November and go to the villages that have just been liberated. Bridges are broken. Lots of people are doing that now. They're taking clothes and food and stuff and helping people. There's a subway where there's 120 women and children. They've been there since the beginning.
What,
Wow.
living in a subway?
Yeah, they're too
Gosh.
scared to come out.
Oh, bless them.
2 children did come out and unfortunately got killed.
Wow.
So I went with my dinosaur suit and I went down the subway, and the children thought it was so funny because, I was dancing around with them and they were pulling my tail and that. And Jacob, we call him Jacob Subway because he goes and he takes food and clothes to them and makes sure they're all okay. And he said, Angie, don't take the dinosaur away. So Jacob's got the dinosaur right. So I have to buy
can't believe they're living in
some.
subways. You don't hear any of this.
I know, and you're literally risking your own life, going over there every time. I mean, these children have lost their lives leaving the subway, but you're actually going into this very same subway. What do your family think? Are they in support of this? What have they said to you?
The first time I went, my son said, Mum, you're not going over into Ukraine yet. And I said, no, I'm just going to Poland. The second time, he bought me a new phone and I didn't know why. And then he sent me a message while I was there the second time. He said, you're in Ukraine.
He had a tracker on it.
Yes. And I said, I'm sorry, but it's something I've got to do. And he said, Mum, I'm so scared for you and your grandchildren need you. And I wrote a poem about volunteering. It's just called Volunteers. And it was when I was on the train going over. The train shook violently. My blood turned to ice. My heart felt real fear, held tightly in a vice. Every little bump, every noise made my body shake. The rumble of the train. Have I made a big mistake? Why am I on this journey? What do I hope to achieve? My family hated me coming here, begged me not to leave. But I have to follow my destiny, for it burns inside of me. I have to do my utmost to help the children, you see. People think I'm crazy, risking my life over there. But I have to help the children try to calm their fear. For I am older and wiser. I understand the dangers of war. But the children, they're young and innocent. They don't know what all this is for. The flashing lights, the explosions, the noises that make them cry. The shock, the fear, the bewilderment. They shouldn't have to see loved ones die. But these children, like their parents, carry on marching through. For they are true Ukrainians, their strength is mighty too. This journey I've undertaken is one I have to do. Even though every fibre of my body is on edge the whole night through. For my journey is a small one, I stay for such a short while. But the children, they all live here. It's their home, so they just try to smile. Every day of their lives they have to face this, the fear, the heartache of war. They ask their mummy and daddies, why must our country be at war? They cuddle their teddies so tightly, try to put on a brave little face, but their eyes, they tell the full story, and they hold mummy's hand tighter just in case. For each new day brings another new challenge, as the tanks and the bombs get ever near, but they still hold their heads up like a soldier, brave little children, but full of such fear. So though it's hard for my family to accept it, and I know that for me they do fear, these are just little children, and in my heart I know why I'm here. For these children live every moment with terror and fear in their eyes. They have no choice, it's their homeland, and I can't ignore their silent cries. For my family, I know you're all safe now, but if ever you face the same day as these children do every single second, you would understand why I had to come here, come what may. So my own fear I'm facing on this journey is nothing compared to a little child's heartache. And now I know why my journey is important. Helping others is never a mistake. My own grandchildren and children, yes, I miss them. And I know that they'll miss me too. But I know they're all safe in their own homes. So please understand what I do. If these children here in Ukraine can be strong and all struggle through, then I'll draw all my strength from their courage, which will help me return home once more, safe to you.
Awesome. You're amazing. Thank you. This is life-changing for you, isn't it?
Right, if any of you out there want to help Angie on her quest, you can find her on social media. If any companies want to donate, if anybody wants to help, you can come through Creatives on the Couch, send messages to us, and we will get you in touch with this amazing, remarkable, brave woman. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing your journey. You are amazing.
And you make sure you stay safe if you go back out there.
Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again here on Creatives on the Couch. Thank you very much.